we have discussed about karmic justice focused on the thematic analysis, this one will focus on the multi metaphors in the mystery novel, and then there were none. This could come under the umbrella term of stylistic analysis. I'll just quickly tell you or read the abstract for you. The study analyzes Agatha Christie's novel from five dimensions: the nursery rhyme, Soldier Island, role of characters, death, and psychological interaction, to explore its multidimensional metaphors and their deeper connotations. And there are two types of meanings. One is denotative meaning, that is the dictionary meaning, and then there is connotative meaning that has to do with the social meaning that we associate with certain characters, phenomena, and whatnot. The key findings reveal that the nursery rhyme serves as a narrative thread. Remember this word to incorporate into your analysis and answers. It's a narrative thread that talks about a narration, that mentions the narration that we need to know, or the narrative that we need to know, symbolizing both fate driven trial and societal rules manipulating individuals' destinies. Soldiers Island's isolation mirrors moral problems and emotional detachment in modern society. The characters linked to their crimes and death embody universal human flaws. Death acts as both form of justice and a critique of civilization fragility. The psychological struggle among characters exposes the collapse of morality under survival crisis. By encoding these interconnected metaphors, the study interprets the work's thematic frameworks of sin and punishment, offering insights into tensions between societal norms and individual existence. I would like to draw your attention towards something that is important. When you're talking about the social issues, you can actually talk about these metaphorical representations as well, because it's also focusing on survival crisis, civilization fragility, crime and deaths, sin and punishment, destinies, critique, justice, and whatnot. Both of the articles can go hand in hand whenever you're attempting any kind of question, but you have to make an intelligent assumption and inference to correlate to the question being asked. And there is an introduction to your writer, once again, you can read. Now, let's talk about the metaphorical connotation of nursery rhyme. This could have been added to your analysis of nursery rhyme as well, the one that I gave you as an assignment. But the assignment that I checked was very bad. I think it was Bashir's. I don't remember which one was it. I'll give you the feedback as well. Very badly done, and I will not be giving you any score for it. Please be very mindful of it. Okay, just because you submitted, you'll get scores. That is not how my classes take place. So if it's a bad assignment, it's a bad assignment. Okay. Now, multi metaphors in the novel. A plenty of metaphors are involved in the novel, making the plot well knitted with different pavements. Behind each metaphor, there are a variety of interpretations that could be illustrated. Now, this part will be developed from the metaphors of nursery rhyme and all those perspectives that I've highlighted for you. Now, what is the metaphorical connotation of nursery rhyme? The nursery rhyme, 10 Little Soldiers, serves as both narrative engine and thematic cornerstone in the novel, intricately shaping its structure, mood, and philosophical undertones. It represented 10 soldiers which are going to perish sequentially, and then the characters of the story, they are going to go through deaths, and it is going to unfold each death in a very chilling manner. The interplay of foreshadowing, psychological death, and symbolic resonance amplifies the story's tension, and the reader is intricately and inevitably grim. Metaphorically, the character's entrapment to island implies humanity's vulnerability to inexorable fate, which means inevitable, unavoidable fate, something that has to happen. Humans are definitely vulnerable. Vulnerable means that they are dependent on certain happenings, and we cannot change the um, outcome. So, all the transgressions of the characters which were in the past, they playfully transform their moral accountability into predestined justice in one way or another. That is the metaphorical connotation of nursery rhyme. Now, reoccurring like haunting refrain, the rhyme cultivates an atmosphere of claustrophobic dread, Each stanza marks not only a physical death but also erosion of hope, symbolizing time's merciless march towards mortality. As the characters confront the rhymes in inexorable progression, they and readers grapple with the inevitability of their demise and the meticulous cruelty of unseen killer. Then metaphorical connotation of this particular places. Soldiers Island in the novel is not merely the story setting but a richly symbolic space central to its narrative and themes. Though its geographical feature, environmental atmosphere, and connection to the plot, the island embodies multiple layers of meaning that deepen the story's moral and psychological impact. So, as a setting, Soldier Island definitely represents the environment, also represents and acts as a test of human nature. Then we have connotation of the characters that we have already talked about. Now, one by one, they are talking about, for example, Wargrave, seemingly upright, is the mastermind behind the murder, somewhat symbolizing twisted justice. Then Emily Brent, a devoutly religious woman whose cruelty drove a maid to commit a suicide, symbolizes hypocrisy and moral rigidity masked by piety. Then Anthony Martson, a reckless rich youth who killed two children in a car accident, epitomizes privileged indifferences that are there among the elites. Then metaphorical connotation of death. In the novel, death is not just a plot's driving force, but a metaphor of rich device. First, death symbolizes moral justice. Each character evaded punishment for past crime, but their deaths serve as retribution and supernatural reckoning for their sins. Second, death embodies inescapable fate. Third, death exposes human frailty and corruption. Fourth, death carries a supernatural inevitability. Each demise eerily mirrors 10 little soldiers. So, death as a theme, death as a metaphorical connotation represents a lot of things in the novel. And then, connotation of psychological interaction. The novel also dwells into the complexity of fragility of human psychology through characters' mental shifts and interaction. First, through the characters escape legal punishment for their past crimes, their lingering guilt intensifies and deaths unfold, eroding their sanity. Next, Judge Wargrave, the killer, not only murders physically but also subjects the group of psychological torment by invoking the nursery rhyme and staging deaths. He forces the characters to confront their sins, amplifying their fears and guilt until they break. So, all in all, the novel And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie transcends traditional mystery fiction with its masterful structure and dense web of metaphors blending suspense with philosophical depth. The nursery rhyme, isolated island characters, death, and psychological symbolism intertwine to weave or wave a symbolic tapestry. Tapestry is a landscape or things coming together. This shifts the reader's focus from solving a murder puzzle to confronting existential questions. These multi-dimensional metaphors strengthen the story's tension and complexity while inviting diverse interpretations, cementing the novel as a literary classic. So I hope this was a very easy article, easily understandable. I'm hoping that you have already read it and you've understood it.